Hello, friend. You've stumbled upon the Season 1 archive for On the Bubble podcast with me, Josh Liston. This episode you're listening to today was recorded sometime between mid-2015 and early 2019. And just so you know, Season 2 of the show is coming on Jan 8th, 2020. The first episode will drop on Jan 8th, 2020, Melbourne, Australia time, so that should be the day before if you're in North America. We're looking to make the show more fun, more energetic, a little bit less monotone from me, a bit more like this kind of vibe, and yeah, it should be pretty awesome. So thank you for checking out today's episode. I'm really proud of all the stuff we did on the Bubble podcast in the early days, which is kind of now wrapped up in Season 1, and pretty excited about where it's going for Season 2. So thanks once again, folks, on thebubblepodcast.com to get Season 2, to hear all of the episodes from Season 1, including this one today, if you want to share it with somebody or whatever. And I'll leave you with this crucial piece of life advice. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
For all episode resources, subscribe links, and ways to support the podcast, head on over to onthebubblepodcast.com. Now, on with the show.
Hey friends, welcome back to On the Bubble podcast. My name is Josh Liston, coming to you from Australia, and today we have two shows, both from the Marvel television universe, Agent Carter and Marvel's Inhumans. But before we get to that, just a little bit of news. On March 8, 2018, TV series Finale.com reported that adventure comedy The Librarians was cancelled by TNT and will be shopped around for its fifth season to another network. Quote, "The fourth season of The Librarians averaged a 0.29 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic and 1.45 million viewers. Compared to Season 3, that's down by 38% and 20%. Respectively," unquote. So I managed to dig up a tweet also from March 8th from series creator Dean Devlin, which kind of outlines his plans for Season 5 of the show. Quote, "Just got the official call. TNT has cancelled #The Librarians. I will immediately begin the process of trying to move the show elsewhere. Please keep your fingers crossed for us," unquote. So yeah, if we happen to have any Librarians fans listening today to On the Bubble, now is the time to get out there on your social media channels, etc., and really start supporting the Librarians for a Season 5. Okay, with that slightly disappointing news, we'll move on to talking some Marvel. According to a 2017 article from comicbook.com, Agent Carter star Hayley Atwell said in relation to her role in a potential Season 3, quote, "She'd do it like a shot," unquote. So that's a pretty cool quote. But if you're wondering why Hayley's even being asked questions like that, and what's the deal with Season 3 of Agent Carter, for that we need to go right back to May 2016 when ABC's network heads cancelled the show after 2 seasons. According to an article on denofgeek.com from August 2016, head of Marvel TV Jeff Loeb said the following, quote, "There were no conversations," unquote. Quote, "We had a call from the network, being ABC. The network said they were cancelling the show," unquote. As for the rationale behind why ABC decided to cancel the show, Loeb mentioned in an interview with Business Insider that he really had no idea why ABC had decided to pull the plug on Agent Carter. Through that whole process, he seemed both disappointed and also a little blindsided by ABC's lack of interest in continuing what was all round a well-received show. Agent Carter fans immediately launched a Change.org petition, and it's one of the most supported petitions I've found while researching shows for On the Bubble. The campaign actually followed 2 different Change.org petitions with a combined supporter base of over 145,000 people. So that's quite massive. And the crux of the campaign was Carter fans were pushing for Netflix to revive the show, Also a pretty common thing we're starting to find. A lot of fans are going straight to Netflix, believing that if any platform has the financial wherewithal and also just the creative spark to revive a good show, that it's Netflix. Collider.com reported on July 27, 2016, that Netflix boss Ted Sarandos had his own thoughts on why Netflix had passed on Agent Carter. According to Sarandos, quote, "We're looking for truly original brands to own," unquote. Quote, "In the Marvel space, we already have original comic book shows," unquote. Just so you guys can get a little bit more idea on how the cast and crew were feeling about a season 3, I've attached an article from Cinema Blend, which points to a few of the things that Hayley Atwell, who is our series star, Peggy Carter, the things that she would have loved to have seen in a season 3. So if you check the show notes when you're listening to this, you'll find that article. And Hayley does point to some pretty cool stuff. So I can sympathise as to why the Agent Carter fan would be screaming for a season 3. Hashtag renew Agent Carter. On January 21st, 2018, in an article titled "ABC appears to have quietly cancelled Marvel's Inhumans," ScreenRant.com reported that ABC had decided not to renew the show after just one season. Quote, "The series' first year on air was a tumultuous one, to say the least. Following the ill-fated decision to premiere the show's first episodes on IMAX screens, the series was blasted with negative reviews," unquote. So not exactly an Agent Carter situation here for Marvel's Inhumans. The show was met with much less fanfare, obviously, and a much colder critical response. Given the multitude of issues out at the gate, audience numbers for Inhumans were well below expectations with ABC's management. President Channing Dungey commented, quote, "The numbers, unfortunately, were less exciting for us than we had hoped they would be," unquote. A fan campaign for the show did start up shortly after the cancellation of the show, stating the following, quote, "For all the haters wanting this to be cancelled, they seem to forget how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., another ABC property, improved after the initial episodes and is currently one of the best comic book shows on air," unquote. So the creators of the petition are right about one thing there. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of the best comic book shows on television. I'm going to say this, and hopefully it doesn't seem too off topic, but I would be very hesitant drawing conclusions between any comic book show and the early seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. For this reason, and this reason alone. Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gave us Mac, Bobby, and Hunter, 3 of the most loved characters on the show. You only need to see the reaction recently when Hunter came back for one episode. The social media reaction was massive. The reintroduction of a late entrance character. Not many shows can pull off making you care about people who haven't been there from the start. In the case of Henry Simmons, who plays Mac, he's simply one of the best actors on television. He's next level, which anyone who's stuck with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would know. As I'm obviously a crazy TV fan, I'm right behind anyone who loves Inhumans trying to get another season, but hoping that the show could become Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when S.H.I.E.L.D. had such a unique growth curve through seasons 2 and 3 into now their 5th season, that's unrealistic. So in short, all the best with getting a season 2 for the Inhumans. Hopefully, if nothing else, this particular podcast might help get a few people on board. So that's going to do for today. Just a reminder, in the next episode, we're going to be covering NBC's Constantine, which is an episode we've been working on for quite a while. And it's a roller coaster of a fan campaign, let me tell you. At Joshua C. Liston on Twitter and Instagram, and Joshua C. Liston at Gmail to email the show. Okay, have a great week and talk to you soon.